examples of unimplemented, very important verdicts and not enforced by the Committee of Ministers in many meetings of the committees, with the presidents of the Assembly, with the Secretary General of the Council of Europe. Every time they say you are right, they also must be implemented. So Ingrid asked this valid question, how to ensure a better implementation. I will repeat my answer to this, which I gave in the committee. The British colleague interpreted or distorted my comments in the committee. What I said there is that, unfortunately, the Committee of Ministers is making selective enforcement. I gave them the examples. Very important verdicts not implemented by other countries for 10 years, 15 years. When we ask, they say, you are right, just you are right. And I urged the members of the committee to talk to their ambassadors and ministers. If we have discrimination, what are we talking about here? Even in the implementation of the courts. On the other hand, another mistake, full mistake by British colleague, Turkey is not grand payer for 6 years, since 6 years. And Turkey, if he listens to the rapporteurs in the bureau, in the committees, in the General Assembly, Turkey is fully cooperating with the rapporteurs on the issue. On the other hand, we had sent some notes to the rapporteur on correcting some mistakes, especially on issues of Cyprus, especially about the verdicts of the court recognizing the property commission as a legal remedy. He didn't. That's why the report is missing many points, and I will vote against this report. Hope to see a better and implementation in the future. Then this selective approach is questioned rightfully, not just by me, by everybody. I hope it will be addressed. I never criticized any court ruling, neither national nor European court. I just criticized the Committee of Ministers on this selective approach. Believe me, please check record of your countries and other countries. You will see what I mean. Thank you.
Dear colleagues, I must now interrupt the list of speakers. The speeches of members on the speakers list who have been present during the debate but have not been able to speak may be given to the table office for publication in the official report. I remind colleagues that typewritten text must be submitted electronically no later than 4 hours after the list of speakers is interrupted. Typewritten texts are limited to 400 words. I call now Mr. Espatiu, rapporteur, to reply to the debate. As you know, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to thank all of speakers for their contribution and comments, which are very useful for this very serious and important issue we discussed. I hope that in Reykjavik summit there will be some judgments and some decisions that will help the whole procedure and process of the implementation of the court's judgments. I had the chance to see the Kavala, to listen to you, especially about the Kavala case. In paragraphs 68 and 115 of my report, we mentioned the case. And also in the resolution, paragraph 7.16, we mention clearly that there must be some measures to be taken for Mr. Kavala in order to have the interim measures and the final judgments implemented regarding his unlawful detention. There is always the political will, which sometimes is not available. And believe me, I wish, some of us, we always wish that the implementation of the judgments was something which could emanate from the court or even the Parliamentary Assembly, but it's not the case. The people who signed the convention decided that the implementation is a political matter, and that we can understand the trade-off. Sometimes they give the impression of trade-off between the national interest and the need to implement the judgments and apply the rule of law. In conclusion, notwithstanding whatever structural, systemic, financial, political, or whatever constitutional obstacle or priority may exist, our primordial responsibility is the effective implementation of court judgments. As stated yesterday, I quote, by the President of the Court, unexecuted judgments undermine the authority and functioning of the convention system. When the root cause of a systemic problem at national level remains untreated, the court will continue to receive cases with the same violations. That's why maybe the very large number of applications for the court may be the result of these unimplemented cases. I would like, finishing, to thank the Secretariat, the national delegations who during the hearings here or in Azerbaijan and in Romania. I would like to especially to thank Mrs. Hurican and of course Mrs. Agnieszka Sklana for the past months for their assistance for the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I believe that the Vice Chairperson of the committee, Mr. Davor Ivo-Stier, would like to speak. You have also 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. Dear colleagues, let me start by noting the unanimous support of the committee for the rapporteur's meticulous work in this report on the implementation of judgments of the European Court of Human Rights. This subject is a priority for the Assembly and for the organization. In that spirit, I'm pleased to know that this is also a priority for the preparatory work for the forthcoming summit. In committee, including our subcommittee on the implementation of the Court's judgment, we will endeavor to ensure that the Assembly can develop appropriate mechanisms to support the swift and effective implementation of court judgments. This is at the heart of this organization's work to ensure respect for human rights, the rule of law and democracy in Europe. As the resolution makes clear, it is vitally important that states establish effective national coordination mechanisms to enable them to implement the court's judgments in a timely and effective manner. I will look forward to undertaking work in committee and our subcommittee following this report to support national parliaments and parliamentarians to carry out the legislative reforms needed to implement court judgments and to hold our governments to account for taking timely steps to implement court judgments. With this in mind, I invite all of you here to reflect on what more we can do individually and collectively to improve the swift and effective implementation of judgments in our own countries. In this light, I look forward to continuing this work following this report and the summit. I congratulate the rapporteur. I appreciate, of course, the work of the Secretariat, and I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you. The debate is closed. The Committee on Legal Affairs and Human Rights has presented the draft resolution, document 15742, to which 2 amendments have been tabled, and the draft recommendation, to which no amendments have been tabled. Amendments are listed in the compendium. We will start with consideration of the draft resolution and will then consider the draft recommendation. I understand that the Vice Chairperson of the Committee on Legal Affairs and Human Rights wishes to propose to the Assembly that Amendments 1 and 2 to the draft resolution, document 15724, which were unanimously approved by the Committee, should be declared as agreed by the Assembly. Yeah, that's the case. Does anyone object? If so, please ask for the floor by raising your hand. No one objects.
Türkiye'den bir cəmi millət vəkili çıxış eləyib. Türkiye nümayəndə heyətinin rəhbəri çıxış eləmişdi. Erdoğan partiyasının hakim partiyadan. Burada yazılır ki, dostlar yazılır ki, səs
We will
azdır.
now proceed to vote on the draft resolution contained in document 15724 as amended. A simple majority is required. The vote is now open.
Səs vermə başlayır. Hesabatla bağlı baxaq görək neçə nəfər bu hesabatı dəstəkləyəcək. Baxırsınız ekranlarda, dəyərli dostlar. Hal-hazırda onlar səs vermə ilə bağlı görürsünüz ki, millət vəkilləri elektron səs vermədir. İndi ekranlara nəticələr çıxacaq. Çox güman ki. Xatırladım ki, deputatların bir çoxsu
I close the vote. Or no? Sorry. Something is happening with the system.
Sistem işləmir deyil. Səs vermə işləməyib. Bəlli deyil çünki.
So, dear colleagues, there is a technical problem.
Texniki
And they need
problem.
1 minute of technical stuff to
Texniki
relaunch
problem
the
var.
voting. So we will vote again on the resolution if you agree.
Yəqin Azərbaycan xakerləri müdaxilə edir. Türkiyə,
The
Azərbaycan
vote is
xakerləri.
open.
Hamı gəlib səs verməyə. Görürsünüz ki, səs vermədə biz dərhal düşək, onları orada bir danışdıraq.
The vote is closed.
Aha.
I call for the result to be displayed.
Nəticələr. Aha.
The draft resolution as amended in document 15724 is adopted.
73 nəfər.
We will now proceed to vote on the
Lehne,
draft recommendation
nəfər,
contained in document
səs verməkdir,
15724. As you know, 2/3 majority is
Bu hələ ki
required.
əlavələrə səs.
The vote is now open.
Hələ ki hissələri də əlavələr üzrə səs vermə gedir. Deyəsən öyle o Türkiyəli millət vəkili səs
The vote
verir.
is closed. I call for the result to be displayed. Draft
Maraqlıdır.
recommendation in document 15724 is adopted.
Qırmızıdır.
Congratulations.
Görürsünüz hesabat qəbul olunur.
The Assembly will hold its next public sitting tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 p.m. with the agenda for the sitting. I would like to remind
Görürsünüz.
those members who are not
Təbrik
attending
edirlər
the remainder of
bir-birlərini.
this part session to return your voting cards
Gedək.
to the dedicated box at the entrance to the chamber before
Dəyərli
leaving the
dostlar,
palace.
Avropa
The
Şurasından mən
sitting is
sizə
adjourned.
canlı yayımda göstərdim ki, maraqlı bir hesabat qəbul elədilər. Azərbaycanın da deməli qərarların icra etməməsi ilə bağlı orada hissələr var idi. Biz sizə az sonra reportajımızı davam etdirəcəyik. Belə bu qədər. Sizinlə mən və bizim
Xəyal Əzizbəyli.
Xəyal Əzizbəyli Avropa Şurasından
Salamlayırıq hər-birinizi.
tamamlayırıq işimizi və çıxırıq. Gedək, danışdıraq deputatları. Zəhmət olmasa kameralarımızı da yığaq və yavaş-yavaş gedək. Canlı yayımımızı dayandıraq.